to a lesson on vertical angles. We previously talked about complementary and supplementary, so I'm just going to awkwardly put on an extra part of this table that will go over something called vertical angles, which also uses a special relationship between angles. And what vertical angles are is that they're effectively angles opposite of each other when two lines cross, and they are always congruent, which means they're equal to each other. So this, by the way, isn't two separate things. This is if we have two lines crossing right here, the angles on the opposite side are always, there's no variation of this. They are always going to be equal to each other. They are always going to be congruent. So we're going to do a few problems practicing this relationship between vertical angles so you guys get more comfortable with the concept. So here's an example right here. We're actually trying to figure out the angles of every single thing here. It's actually using the information from this table. The first step you should always figure out is, if you're in this situation, figure out what the other angles are, is find out what the other vertical angle is. So here we have 50 degrees, and it's equal to 50 degrees. It is angle AEB, which is equal to 50 degrees, and our vertical angle is the one that's on the other side, which is right over here. So we know angle AEB is equal to the measurement of angle DEC. So if this is 50 degrees, that means the other one has to be 50 degrees. And that's just a nice little boom, boom, we're done, right? 50 degrees, 50 degrees. All right, so how do we figure out the measurement of these other angles? Well, we're actually going to use previous knowledge here, because if I take the angle of AEB and I compare it to AED, do you guys notice this kind of forms like a straight line right here? In fact, we can consider this whole thing right here supplementary. They are supplementary angles. So that means if I take the measurement of angle AEB and our new angle AED, and I add them up, they'll equal 180. So that means 50 plus something, our AED something, is 180. And you guys can do the math. I'm going to actually skip to that part, past that part. But that tells us that X is 130. That means our AED is going to be 130. Now, you could probably already tell there's multiple ways to tell what this last angle is going to be. But I'm just going to point out, look, if this is 130, isn't this our vertical angle right here? That means AED, this angle right here, is equal to BEC, which means this is also 130, 130, right? So boom, right there. And this pattern of these two angles and these two angles being the same, and then every neighbor, every adjacent angle being supplementary, that's always going to be a thing when you cross two lines. You can do any combination. The numbers will be different, but the relationships will be the same. Now, another thing we do with vertical angles is what we're doing with complementary is we can make some equations. So if I have these two vertical angles right here, I can make an equation which takes the left side equaling the right side, because we know that they are the same thing, all right? So if I wanted to find the measurement of each angle, I could take our equation and I could solve for it. So here's our equation. I'm going to subtract 2y first, so we only have a single y. So we have 2y minus 42, and this is still equal to something. It's equal to 0. Then the goal is to get y by itself. So the opposite of a minus 42 is a plus 42, right? That's inverse operations. We practiced that before. So 0 plus 42 is 42. On the left side, it just cancels out. And then to get rid of this 2, the opposite of multiplication, because they're multiplying 2 times y, is division. So I'm going to divide by 2. So we got y equals 21. Now remember, the goal was to figure out what is the value of these angles, what is the measurement. And so we only figure out what y is, but can I just like take 2y right here and say, well, here's 2y, and I know that y is 21. So 2 times 21 is 42. So this angle right here is 42. But guess what, guys? This is 42. That means the other one is 42, and we're done. That's it, because they're both vertical angles. And that's really just the whole practice that we're going to be trying to do for the next lesson, guys. So I want you guys to try out a few practice problems for homework. But otherwise, you guys have a good day. Bye.